So, and it's the notion of speaking properly is something that culturally we, especially those of us born in the late 70s and the early 80s, and now the 90s, are actually pushing back against.
Yeah.
And I would say that it's because there is a bit of, I want to say this the right way, there is a bit of classism involved in the discouragement of young people from learning and speaking a language that is a language. There is a level of erasure in saying that standard English is proper, it is right, as opposed to a language that is also proper and right. And so, even with the curriculum of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the language arts curriculum, we are encouraged to teach students both, but how to use them in the proper context.
Mm.
And so, for formal writing, obviously, you would want to use your British English, depending on the purpose of the writing. And also because the using of the standard English is a way to just ensure that there is a communication that can be understood easily across cultural divides. And then there is also the encouragement of the cultural heritage and preservation of Bahamian Creole as formally spoken of as Bahamian dialect. Because with that, again, you have the history of communities, you have the history of people, you have the history of food, you have the history of cultural traditions and social practices and norms. And
Mm.
then you also have this pride in who you are as a Bahamian based on the way that you speak, based on the things that you say, based on the expressions, and based on how that's presented. We very rarely, when we get on an international space or in an international space, discourage anybody who speaks British English or the American English, or if they speak any other international language. We don't sit there and we don't ridicule them or feel as though they're less intelligent because they speak their languages. And so we as Bahamians should not be made to feel inferior by discouraging the use of our dialect in professional spaces as well. It's just how it is used and the purpose for which it is used.